I think where the church really goes wrong with talking about sexual immorality is they make it about our um, about who, like, same-sex partnership and all that, and how that's immoral, when a lot of the people at the church aren't having same-sex partnerships anyway. Instead of preaching about the fact that putting sex at the front of your life can be and is a corrosive factor, that it needs to be tempered and kept under control for for you to not take every impulse and run with it, because we're full of impulses and we don't have to indulge every part of our nature. And that doesn't mean we don't live a full fruitful life. It means that the damage that those social relationships and your internal esteem doesn't get damaged by what acts you're doing or what you're doing. Like, it's very easy with all this porn to be addicted to sexual gratification and stuff like that. And the more you do it, the more perverse you'll become, because you'll look for the word is I don't know, but you look for something different every time. And what you're doing now, because you're overusing it, will develop into wanting to look at something else. And then before you know it, you've got this diverse range of things that you're doing or you're watching, and then it's not good for your esteem, because you're doing stuff that you're not aligned with, that you don't think is right for you, and that internal conflict creates less esteem, and also a way of escaping that becomes that you go down the rabbit hole again, and you use those sexual things to soothe yourself from that shame, the shame you feel from becoming ever more perverse in your actions. So I don't think I think if you're attracted to the same sex, that's fine. Have a partner of the same sex, but actually putting sex at the center of your life and overindulging or being driven by it is actually damaging. It is. It's like, you can say, oh well, it's about freedom and about expressing yourself, which can be fun, but it's ever more. It grows. It's a vice. It's a vice. It grows, and sometimes you got to have restraint, and sometimes you got to say, what are my boundaries? Because especially when it comes to with relationships and that, things can get messy if you're all over the place, and it's not just messy in the relationship you have, but the sexual relationship you have, but other relationships, because then they're trying to keep it with it in a bandwidth and normality other people, and you're pushing the boundaries, and they don't know where they stand, or if you're talking sexually or whatever about life, well, they can be that can put them off, and then that relationship's sort of hindered. Or even if you've got male friends and you go and say you're bi or whatever, well, then those relationships, it's like, is he cracking onto me or being my mate? And then are you in your heart you wanting more than a friendship, when it tears at those bonds. It's like it's, it's like we're capable of anything pretty much, and you just have to go down the rabbit hole. And but once you do go down the rabbit hole, you can cause a lot of damage, and it's true. It is damaging. It is. You can say to yourself, "Oh, well, it's freedom and all that," but it's how you feel and your self-esteem and what you really need. And if you put your sexual gratification as something that you need to attain, like, oh, I need to be able to try this or do this or become ever more perverse because you're driven by it, well, that's going to have an effect on other parts of your life. You're better off. Controlling that and saying, well, you know, you want to have fun, but you got to put boundaries in place for yourself, and then also put boundaries in place with your language, because if you're leaving certain things open to possibilities, then your language will leak out with that, and it'll affect how other people perceive you and see you, and that's my point anyway. I could be completely wrong, and but I really do think that a healthy life is one where we temper our sexual gratification and sexual needs, and we stay within certain boundaries, and we try and, we don't let that take over our lives. Okay, thank you.